Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to Seriously Let's Play here on the Rook and Rasp channel. It is time for that daily seance that you all know and love, and that is hello out there in Twitch. Can you hear us? Is the audio good? Hopefully, everything is going right and the channel is working well. But sometimes recently, this last month, I don't know what it is, but Twitch has been having a little bit of a hiccup. But that said, today is Seriously Let's Play, and this is our channel, this is our show where we bring people from all across America, different groups, from creators to artists to just fans. And we all come together for the one thing that unites us, and that is to, seriously, let's play some games. And today we actually have a special guest, Brennan Taylor. I'm hoping I did say that correct?
Yep.
And we are getting the opportunity to play Thousand Arrows, which was on Kickstarter, was successfully funded, and will be coming out pretty soon here. I'm actually very excited, and it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. But before we get too far into that, let me go ahead and do some other intros in the group. We're going to go around, and Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. You can find me here on Rook and Rasp most of the time. Also over at redemptionpodcast.com and on the Identico show Chaos Incorporated at twitch.tv/Identico every other Tuesday night.
Thank you very much. Corey.
All right, I am Corey. I'm playing Eriko. You can find me here on Tuesday nights in the post-apocalyptic jukebox game, and Monday nights you can find me on the podcast/live YouTube actual play of D&D Meets Cthulhu, the Midnight Alley podcast.
Awesome. And just having a little bit of camera trouble, and so that's why if you look above me, Corey is a still image right now. So
Yeah.
I just thought she was really good at freeze tag.
I mean, I am good at freeze tag. I did scare a customer once because I looked like a statue one Halloween.
Nice. And we also have joining us today, Matthew.
Hey, I'm Matthew Orr of Wet Ink Games, at that name on the pod or at the internet places, and I will be playing as Umehime today, the old lady courtier.
All right. And finally, Brennan, thank you so much for bringing us the game and giving us this opportunity. From this moment on, the show is yours.
Great. So what we'll be doing today is playing Thousand Arrows, which is set in the Sengoku period of Japan, the Civil War period. It is medieval Japan. And what we will be doing is the first step is going to be creating bonds between the characters that we have here. So what I would like each of you to do is go around and briefly introduce your character, and then we will start doing the bonds between them. Shall we start with you, John?
Sure. So I am going to be playing, surname first, Aki Mochizue. And I am a G samurai, so I am a country samurai. But at the same time, I think technically I'm also a spy. I have kind eyes and an easy stance. I wear billowing clothing and pretty much don't stand out much, but I do have a workhorse that I probably keep most of my equipment on. But otherwise, I probably don't look like a noble or even a soldier.
Nice. And we're going to continue with Kaylee.
I am playing Tatematsu Harada. She is a warrior monk with the allegiance to the Yagishi. And she's a very small-boned young woman with intense eyes. She dressed very plainly and simply with in some like basic armor with a white hood, carrying which is very odd and more of a peasant weapon, but she carries a staff along with her bow and arrows.
Very nice. I'm just going around the screen as I see them, so we'll go with Corey next.
All right. I am playing Eriko, who is a commoner summoner. She does not have a family name. She's fairly steady, kind of narrowed eyes. She looks a little tattered until you look at her armor, which is a little bit more expensive looking than you'd expect. She carries a bow and arrows and a short, straight, double-edged sword called a tsurugi. So
Great.
And my character is Goto Umehime. I imagine her as sort of like her husband has been killed in battle, and so she's had to kind of take over the running of the whole estate, and has gotten her children all married off in prestigious, prosperous marriages, and now she's sort of like has appointed herself as sort of a diplomat at large to kind of travel between the, you know, the soldier who her daughter is married to the monastery where one of her sons is, to like the other farm that like now where her other son lives who inherited the land where she and her husband raised all the kids. She's kind of traveling around making sure everybody's like she does a little bit of matchmaking, meet the grandkids, solve problems for people, and she always knows what always knows how she's always in everybody's business, but quietly, because she uses her retinue of spies to go out and find out what people want, what people have. It's that she can do all this deal making and matchmaking. She rides around because it's a dangerous time. She rides around in full war regalia. She has like real armor and a giant naginata. Which is all part of her bow and arrow, all the stuff. She's got all the look, but it is actual real stuff too. So a stylish older woman who has self-appointed herself to take care of everyone else's problems.
Sounds great. All right, so starting with John again, why don't you ask one of your attachment questions?
All right, let me grab those really quick here. All right, so for my attachments, because technically this is also I am a farmer, the question comes up as who owns my fields? If I'm gentry, who's my superior or wants to be? And so I guess since I'm G Samurai, it's the second one.
It's who's your superior, yes. So anyone can answer. My guess is it's probably Umehime.
Yeah, I think we picked being the same allegiance, so I think that makes sense to net ourselves together a little bit closer there.
Sounds good to me, especially since I am a spy and you have spies.
I know. We couldn't.
It's almost like we worked it out somehow, but we didn't.
I could have picked soldiers, but I picked spies instead.
Nice. All right. Do you want to do your second question, John, or should we go around the circle and do first questions from everybody?
We can do the second question.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one's interesting. Who has taken something from me? What was it? So that's got some depth to it. I would think it would have to be either Kaylee or Corey if it's one of the players here.
I'm trying to think, what would a summoner want? Maybe a cursed object.
Or it could be that Haruno was one of the people who did you have any children?
I hadn't planned on that. I figured that I'm fairly young.
Okay.
But being that I give off that appearance of being a farmer, and I do not, I play it up because I'm a spy. It could be anything that you might felt you needed. It could have been food even. But, yeah. Just tossing out ideas.
If Kaylee doesn't mind, I actually wouldn't mind taking this one.
Have at it.
Eriko regularly accepts and takes food for her monastery from Mochusue.
All right.
Okay.
And,
What's your last question?
my last question is, this is going to be fun. Who respects me as an equal?
I can totally see that coming from Haruna, because you work the land. It's one of the best things to do. Everything you do gives to everyone else, and it's a way of continuing the circle of life. So with her temple and her faith, she would look upon you as a partner in the circle of life.
Does make sense.
Cool. All right, Kaylee. On your roll sheet, you will find these questions.
Yep. So my first one is, who exemplifies a virtue to which I aspire, and how have they demonstrated it?
So you're playing a monk, correct?
Yes, a warrior monk.
Unless somebody else here wants to hop in on that, I could see it being my character because I do present as fairly relaxed, easygoing, and kind of accepting of the way the world is, just making my way in it. I even come from, it says that I come, in the roles, I come from a cramped home. So I'm probably constantly around family. I'm probably one of the children, actually, one of the oldest children of, one of my elders. And I just seem to take it all in stride. So.
Okay. All right.
That
I like
boundless
that.
patience mode.
Yeah, endless patience. I like that. Okay, my second one. This will be interesting. Who tempts me to abandon my beliefs?
Ooh, I don't know. I had one on my sheet that I kind of think might come around for you, so I kind of want to claim this one.
That's okay. My third one, I think I'm going to be staring directly at Corey for, so
Yeah.
this kind of works good.
Yeah, I think. If I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm doing my matchmaker stuff, and you're like, even though you're like a warrior monk, you could have gotten married. I could have made a prestigious match for you. I still can. You could leave the monastery anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. That'll be a fun role RP moment. Okay, my third one, and when you said your where you come from, who worships alongside me?
All right. Because I have one that's very similar to that, so we could definitely work with that.
Yeah. All right. That
Great.
is all of mine.
So every one of these that you fill in as a bond with one pip next to the person.
Okay.
All right, Corey.
All right. My first question is kind of piggybacking off of Kaylee's last question. Who dutifully and devotedly serves the gods by working and worshiping with me? So I definitely think that would be...
That's perfect, yeah.
Definitely for Haruna.
And we 100% didn't plan that one.
No. My second question is, who was with me when I encountered a mysterious monster, ghost, or demon?
Ooh.
I'm willing to take that one because I kind of have... I ended up with negative void in my stats, so I kind of think that I'm sort of not really like I'm in denial about the spirit stuff, and so like, you know, maybe I saw you do your work, but I'm kind of skeptical about it. You know, it kind of is like, oh, it was a
That was
costume, or it was, you know, it was gunpowder in a dish, you know, like that made the smoke. Like it's not, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that one. And my last question, who has attracted the spirit's interest and attention? Which ones and how?
Ooh, so I guess I'll take that one. I'm the last person left for you. Uh, you know, it's one of those things where what kind of spirits are there?
Oh, there are all sorts of spirits.
And is it, you know, do I attract spirits that are drawn to danger with, you know, me always trying to hide? Or when I'm out in the field and I'm around nature so much, do I attract something from that? Which do you think would be?
If we want to have some fun with this, you probably definitely attract some nature spirits with your farming practices, especially if you're as mindful of it as you seem to be setting yourself up to be.
All right.
Nice. All right, Matt.
Oh, right. So my questions are, who has seen me in a moment of weakness, and what was that moment?
I think I would actually like to take that one.
Okay.
And I would say I saw you behind the scenes kind of breaking down with the loss of your husband.
Mm.
You know, and just that emotional moment, you know, whatever that emotion may have been, whether it was anger or sadness, you know.
Sure. Like it. My next question is, who do I think is in love with me? Which,
Who do you think is in love with you, though?
that's what
Yeah.
the question is. Who do I
Yeah.
think is in love with me?
There are definitely some Powered by the Apocalypse questions that rely more on you than the other player,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're fun. So,
Right. So I can I pick you, Corey, if this is the way that this works?
sure.
Because I think that would be. I think I want to set up some diffidence between our characters, so I think this would just add to the sort of like, oh, this lady is trouble.
Right.
I think. And then my last question is, who is the prettiest? Which is, I think, for me, the other half of the who do I keep trying to tempt out of the orders. But, you know, if you're okay with that,
Yeah,
Kaylee.
I think that's fine. And Haruna doesn't get that, but that's perfectly okay for you to believe it.
Right.
All right. Great. So we will set the scene in the Takeda lands, right along the borders with the Uesugi clan, their current enemy. These are your domains, Umehime. Your family has held these for ages. There were some lords who were a buffer between you and the Uesugi, but they have fallen in the latest offensive. So you're basically next on the list.
Right.
The warrior monk. Now, I have a question for you, Haruna. You're not associated with a monastery at the moment, are you?
Uh, yes, I believe I am at this point.
Okay.
And it's probably if it's okay with Corey, it's probably the same one that Erico is affiliated with,
Yeah,
or
I believe you're both
maybe
Buddhists, so
yeah,
yes.
or maybe could even be a sister temple or the same one.
Yeah, I'm 100% okay with that. It'd be fun.
Great. That temple lies along the main road that leads through this area, right on the border of Uesugi and Takeda lands.
Okay.
The direction that an army would march should it be heading this way.
Sure.
Oh,
So
They're being
I'm
obvious about it.
right. The monastery actually operates an inn along this road because it is on the route that leads to uh, Mount Fuji, and there are many pilgrims that come this way. So I think that's as good as any place to begin our first scene with our local Takeda clan members meeting here for a clandestine meeting.
Ooh. Clandestine.
Well, you both have spies, so you know. I'm sure you have something to plan about.
Right.
As far as the summoner and the warrior monk, you are welcome to be in this scene as well, doing whatever you feel you would be doing in the inn.
yeah. Now, I do have a question about the Soothsayer special move in particular. It starts with when you return from downtime. Would this trigger at this point or later?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from everybody here who is in the scene, I need a 1 to 2 sentence vision from you all. If you would like to give me one.
Just to
Regarding
put
our
everybody on the
character, I
spot.
assume.
Just all it says is when you return from downtime, ask each other player for a 1 to 2 sentence vision. It doesn't say anything specific. I get to pick one, and then I roll with my void to work with my allies on something.
Oh yeah, it gives you a bonus if you're pursuing that vision, basically. Mm-hmm. So it can be a vision about the situation, it can be a vision about your character, it can be a vision about someone else.
Yeah.
So I see a night scene, and it's a castle. It's too indistinct to see, but you can tell the battlements, and it's surrounded by a moat. There's heavy downpour of rain, and the moat is extremely close to filling up with water from the rain.
Okay.
I think for the vision you get from my point of view is it is also nighttime, and it's just a stretch of dirt road, and there's a solitary cat sitting in the middle of the road cleaning its paws. But when you look up from the cat and look down the road towards what you know is danger, you see a cloaked figure with a bare blade. And when you turn around, there's a similar one about 20 paces in the other direction.
And for me, I would say that it's a very dreamlike state. You are in a forest and you see a large pool. And the pool is a fish that is now too big to swim up or downstream and is trapped within the pool, unable to leave.
All right.
All right. So which of those visions do you prefer?
I think I'm gonna go with Kaylee's, but they're all pretty fun.
Okay. So
They're all
the
super deep.
Yeah, they were
yeah.
good.
So, where is my...
I honestly had to check for Chris Hussman to see if he was hiding under the table or something.
Alright, that is 2 dice. And I roll with void. That is... Well, that's a 12.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's a 10.
Dang.
Sorry.
10.
It's still a
Okay.
10. It's still pretty good. You and your eyes take +1 ongoing to bring it about.
Ah.
So,
So if you are attempting to bring this scene to fruition in some way, and that can be, you could be the swordsman, you could be the person standing by the cat, or the swords person, I should say.
yeah.
You will gain a +1 on your roll when you're attempting to make that happen.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you've had this vision, I would say, Eriko, and you're probably aware that it involves these other 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
when you hear word that Umehime has come to the inn in disguise, I don't know, maybe disguise, maybe not. How did Umehime arrive? You're muted. Yeah.
I don't think that. I was sneezing just a second ago.
No problem.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that she arrived in disguise necessarily. I think this is sort of like, like it's part of the regular progress, right? So it's like, it's just time in my yearly visit to all of my family members that I'm just on the road at this time. Nothing exceptional. I probably have a small number of a very small retinue. Some escorts, a couple baggage carrier type people, and then I'm on my horse, or I've ridden here on a horse. So it's like I'm not in disguise, but I'm also not like making a big scene, I guess, is how I see it.
Okay. That's cool. And how did you arrive, Mochisue?
So, I would think that Mochisue has been out here. I've been kind of working in the fields alongside. This is a good location to see if enemy troops are moving about or anything else, especially scouts. Talk with the local peasantry and see if they have any ideas of things that are happening. And that way, when Umehime comes through, I can relay that information if I actually have seen anything.
Okay. So you've had scouts out. That sounds like a move to me.
All right.
There is a reconnoiter move.
Alrighty. Try to find that here really quick.
Okay. It will be on your sheet with the moves. It is, I believe, on the lower right side.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Roll wind. So, and my wind is neutral. Ooh, hello. So that's a 6 on one dice and a 5 on the other, getting me 11.
Very nice.
Nice.
So you'll see a list of questions under that move.
Yep. All right. How about... so I get to ask one of those?
You get to ask 3.
Ooh, 3.
Yeah.
I definitely want to know what traps or dangers are hidden from me.
Okay. Yes, your spies have come back and said that there is some suspicious construction going on the northern side of the river, on the Uesugi side, some distance from the road.
All right. Uh, let's see. What weakness exists that I can exploit?
The camp where this construction is going on is minimally guarded. They're hoping that they will survive by stealth.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one. What's the most effective path to my goal? My goal would probably be, personally, I mean, overall, the goal would be to have them withdraw and fall, the enemy forces to fall back. But it might also be uh, ensuring that, Umehime is safe.
All right. The most effective path to getting them to fall back would be to, disrupt their progress on their construction project enough that it's not worth their time any longer. The method by which you disrupt it is up to you.
All right. All right. So, from there, do you want us to go ahead and say what our characters are doing? Or?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you have arrived at the inn. Are you in your peasant garb, basically?
Absolutely. These billowing clothing that just kind of catches the wind. Looks like it's either too large for him, or maybe it's a hand-me-down in appearance. Uh, Stained a little bit around the sleeves and the legs, showing as if I do labor work. And if I see Umehime coming along, I'll walk up, and very brazenly, kind of just itching. I'm just like, would you like me to water your horses, ma'am?
Yes, that would be fine. And so I'll kind of like point to the people that are with me. Oh, go over there and do the things that you do, and then um, we'll I'll let Mochi Sue do whatever it is. Like he's doing his groom, pretending to be a groom here, and like giving the horse what the horse needs.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna like, because I'm like arriving at the inn, so like I'm gonna get off the horse or whatever, and I imagine that I'm dressed like kind of like fancy clothing, but like with a more shabby, chic riding cloak type thing over the top of it, so that it to protect me from the elements and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyone who sees me move will see that there's like nice silks I'm wearing underneath, and then so anyway, yeah. So I get off the horse, and then I'm kind of like kind of like meaningfully make eye contact, right? Like, all right, what's the deal? What have you seen?
I order one of my assistants. Do I have assistants or
Yeah,
people
you
that
can
work?
have some of your people here. Yeah.
I order one of them. I say, "Go draw water from the well," and I look over towards Umehime, and I'm like, the river near here has become much too dangerous. Predators seem to lurk nearby this one area. I would not take your horses out there." Kind of implying that that's where the troops are.
And I'll ask, picking up in kind, I would ask like sort of like, is it something about the seasons, right? Are the predators right for this season, or is it like an unusual, you know, do they come here from somewhere else or whatever? To try to pick up that, like, is this this is the same old problems or new problems, basically, is what that code is supposed to ask.
They're constructing a den not too far away. I'm hoping that right now, while they are not gaining in numbers, that perhaps a few can go there and chase them off, or at least destroy what they're trying to construct.
Sounds great. Yeah. I can give you some additional trappers from my people.
Perhaps allies from around here as well. After all, they have a joint interest in saying that their place is safe.
Sure. I'm sure a meeting with the nun, some of the nuns here, could be arranged. I was going to make my annual contribution into their maintenance. I will speak to somebody.
And Mochisuke bows very deeply and will tend to the horses for the moment. Oversee their grooming and whatever else needs to happen.
Yeah, and I'll go inside to the, whatever the accommodations of the inn provide.
Right. Yeah, if you're a regular here, there's probably a room that they reserve for you when they know you're coming. So, as you come in, the abbess is here to greet you, along with an entourage of nuns.
There's much pleasantries presented. I'm not necessarily trying to get anything out of this situation, but there's like I'm all about protocol and reputation, so like I have to greet them and say hello.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like trying to immediately convince them of anything, I guess.
Okay. So, Eriko, what you're among these
Nuns.
These nuns, yes. What are you planning to reveal anything about your vision? Or you...
No. If I can get her ladyship to myself, so to speak, or with Mochesue, then I will share. But for now, there are too many people around.
All right. Haruna, you've been assigned to the inn to make sure it is secure while the lady Umehime is staying here.
Yeah, I picture Haruna when Umehime comes in. Haruna is basically kind of trying to fade into the background thing, but also trying to not garner Umehime's attention, simply because she knows the inevitable discussion that will occur, and she's attempting to avoid it as long as possible.
Right.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yes. I'm going to say Umehime definitely notices you. Whether or not she comes to converse with you is a different story. But yes, you're definitely trying to fade into the background.
No, I think I think I'm doing the pleasantries. I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to freshen up, and then there'll be time for business, like later.
Okay. Eriko, when were you thinking of trying to talk to Umehime?
I will probably do so as she's freshening up. I will offer to bring her water and soap.
Okay.
To, like,
yeah.
freshen up. So, does Umehime keep ladies in waiting?
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I imagine there's like a small,
Entourage.
whatever entourage is required. Like, you know, I think, yeah, I think I kind of imagine her as sort of like kind of her style of presentation, especially now that like she's in this sort of like phase of her life, is like she can't compete with like the fancy courtiers in like you know, Kyoto. So like it's like she can make a nice rural place seem a lot nicer when she shows up with like her few people that are there to like set out some banners and, you know, do a proper tea service or whatever. You know, like it is not a tea ceremony thing, but like just show up and like know how to make tea and stuff, and like, oh, it makes the military camp so much nicer, or it makes the field where we are tonight so much nicer. That's sort of like where she excels, I think, is like making a rough situation just a little nicer. So definitely in that spirit, yeah, there would be a minimal amount of staff required to have that effect wherever she goes. As long as she doesn't show up in too nice of a place.
Alright. So, there'll be a gentle knock on your screen, and Erika will call out that she has the water that you had requested.
Oh, yes. Please enter at your leisure.
And yeah, Erika will calmly enter, set everything out. Your ladyship, if you've got a moment, I might have something to share.
Of course. Please. I'm always interested in the news from all around.
Izaki-san with you. He might benefit from this too.
I will tell or I don't know, I think if I've got spies around, it doesn't really talk about how they're used in the game, so I'm gonna say that they're like basically they're gonna make everything happen off screen. So like I point away in the dark. I nod away into what you think is the darkness, and I say like, "Oh, he'll be along soon, I imagine." And
so a spy will be
so,
dispatched to fetch him, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And so then, yeah. So you're probably just finishing up with the this one domestic task, and then this, you know. not like a psst, hey moche sue, you know, like but you get like a message about like, you know, hey, this is the next thing, come here now. Probably yeah.
All right,
we
I will.
can assemble.
Yeah, I'll just nod, and even if somebody just whispered from the shadows, I think Mochizue would be used to that and just be like nodding and make his way there.
Okay.
Doesn't knock at the chamber entrance, and just like as he enters, pardon, and closes the door behind him. You sent for me?
Yeah.
Uriko here has something to tell us.
Of course. Received a vision earlier today. I'm assuming Haruna is around too. Is she not?
She's downstairs guarding the entryway.
I mean,
You
can receive a summons as well if that's what we want.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to bring in Haruna.
Okay.
So I probably, while the one was doing that, I probably asked one of the other
Nuns
with
to
me
do it. Yes.
to get Haruna.
Yeah.
I am sorry
Yeah.
in advance, by the way.
Okay. She slinks in behind Aki-san.
I smile at you. I'm so happy to see your pretty face.
Umehime?
I'm gonna point to Ariko. It's like this is Ariko. This is Ariko's tale to tell.
None of you are planning on traveling soon, I hope. The road seems to be dangerous, or perhaps there is something on the way. And Erica will describe the vision. Probably more flowery than I can at the moment as a player. The cat at night, the stretch of dirt road, the two opposing warriors, and the things like that.
Strangely, I have to ask, was the cat in danger? Or was it just
It was-
merely the focal point?
There's a central point cleaning its paws. So, that could mean anything.
Well, I just wanted to make sure one of us wasn't represented by the cat.
Didn't the cat become the figure, or you
No.
looked away? You looked
You
away.
looked away. Yeah, you looked up from the cat.
Okay.
Perhaps the cat is a representation of the monastery here.
Perhaps. We are on the road between,
Two opposing forces.
between Uesuge and Takeda.
And quite frankly, and I look to Umehime, but the enemy forces are already nearby.
Yeah.
They're starting to build some sort of, I can't even imagine, perhaps a fort, perhaps a bridge, but over by the river. They're currently in very small numbers, not a lot of guards, and a small force could deal with them while there's still time.
Is there you said the road goes across? You said that this is on the road, Brennan. So is
Yes.
this like how does the road go across the river? Is it a bridge, or is
right
it
by
a ford?
right by the monastery there is a bridge. Yes,
There's a bridge, and so this construction is
some distance off
Strategically
into the
situated?
wilderness. Yes, but strategically situated. Yeah.
But this is basically the crossing point in this area, right? This isn't.
Yes.
If they're trying to circumnavigate the main bridge crossing, they could slip into any of the lands without any defense.
True. I think we would love to know more. We would love to find out exactly what they plan to do with this.
I can go at any time.
Yeah. Is there anything in your vision? What are the action items from this meeting? What do you sense is to be done?
I wish my visions were that clear. It is perhaps prudent to make sure that the Uesuge forces do not pose a threat to the monastery or the lands that feed it. The spirits are special.
The vision obviously was a warning.
Perhaps. If they're already close, then perhaps we should check it out and maybe scare them off.
Great.
It seems like we have a task and a goal.
Alright.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely
So
should go investigate further.
are all of you as player characters going to do that? Sorry to interrupt there, Kaylee. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, Haruna looks over at Mochisue. I will go with you.
Are you sure you wish to? I
Wish to? Wish to? No. But, and she gives Umehime a quick like shift eye and then looks back. Duty calls, and we are honor bound to defend these people, and there are many other reasons why I wish to help you.
So be it.
Yeah, this is good. See, she's so dutiful, so respectful. Just she makes someone very happy.
Yes, she's serving our Lord Buddha very well.
That's right. I just noting it to myself, just confirming my own feelings.
Well then.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I
Go
would
ahead.
definitely send some spies along, but I don't think this is a job for my person.
Right.
This is perfectly good for me.
And myself.
All right. And Eriko, you're gonna stay behind, or?
I will stay with her ladyship,
Yeah.
protect her. She might be the target. Who knows? She might be the cat.
Could be the cat.
Yes, distinctly possible. All right. So we'll split that up into two separate scenes. We're gonna start with you off in the woods, near the construction that you found. Haruna and Mochisuke, how are you approaching?
I am going to have my horse with me, and I'm loading it up with sticks and timber that I find in the woods. Just latching groups of branches together, stacking it on the horse as I walk through. I'll actually be using one of my moves.
Okay. And what is that move?
I will be using Beneath Notice, which reads, you are a peasant or you spend enough time around peasants that you can mimic their behavior easily. When you're in commoner's clothing, going about your business or otherwise not looking aggressive, no one above your apparent station will consider you a threat or attack you. If you brandish a weapon or wear armor or ostentatious clothing or otherwise make yourself visible or threatening, the effect doesn't work.
Okay. Perfect. So anyone who's above your station is going to be like, oh, just a peasant going about their business.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you bring any spies with you? Are they hidden around?
I'll want them hidden in the back. This is one of
Yeah.
those things that Mochisuke feels like he is especially suited for.
And how about you, Haruna? What are you doing when this is going on?
I'm also going to use one of my moves, implement a stratagem. I'm going to attempt to. I brought a small band of warrior monks with me as backup, and we're going to attempt to approach stealthily to see. We're going to keep an eye on Machusue and see how his plan works. But we are the hammer to come down on this place when he gives the signal.
So to implement a stratagem, you roll plus void.
+1 on void. That is a total of 9.
Okay. That means that you have a choice between suspicion, compromise, or unintended side effects.
I love this one so much because it's one of my favorite things in every RPG. Unintended side effects, please.
Okay, very good. That's the hardest one for me to figure out. So that's good. Unintended side effects for this. I will say
Could it be the place we have chosen to like hide ourselves is what we thought was an abandoned farm, and we're hiding in a barn that's like on a hill overlooking this new construction, and it turns out it's just a really impoverished farm, and the farmer returns from market to find us.
That seems like a good unintended side effect. So yeah, yeah. So you are in a ramshackle barn that looks relatively abandoned. I mean, there's still some hay inside, but no animals. And you hear the sound of someone approaching outside as you are hiding there, looking down on this encampment that Mochisuke is approaching slowly. Just as he is sighted by the people guarding the encampment, the farmer arrives.
Okay. I think
And
until we're discovered, we will remain in hiding.
okay. Uh, so we'll resolve this so that we know how much help you're going to be to Mochisuke if something goes wrong. So
Sure.
the farmer opens the door to the barn, comes inside, and there are too many of you to find good enough hiding places in here so that you will not be noticed.
Myself and another warrior monk were watching the door. So when he comes in, the door slams shut behind him, and a hand comes out of the darkness to clasp over his mouth, and we're gonna take him prisoner.
Okay.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
reassuring him. It's like, you will not be harmed. We are simply here because you have provided shelter. If all goes well, when the morning comes, you will be released without an injury.
Yeah, he looks around fearfully at you. Notes your garb. The fact that you are women of religion, or at least dressed as such, even though you are armed, and seems mostly confused.
We mean you no harm. You are simply, unfortunately, in the way. I will, if you give me your word of honor not to scream or cause a commotion, I will free your mouth. Nod if you understand.
Yeah, he nods.
All right. And, like, she's going to keep a hold of him, so he doesn't, like, freak out and run out, but she unclasps his mouth.
He says, what is your business here?
Unfortunately, the business is my own. One of our speakers has sent us here in the guidance of the spirits. And as I said, if all goes well, we will be gone come the morning.
All right. He says, very well. And then you see him sort of watching what you're doing. Your people watching down on the encampment. He definitely notices that.
Are you alone on this farm? Have you no wife or children?
He says, no, I'm the only one here. My family all perished of disease some years ago.
I am sorry. They are with their ancestors, however. And she'll reach into a belt pouch and take out a couple coins and press them into the man's hand. It's like, to take care of yourself.
He accepts them. Meanwhile, down at the camp, a sentry comes wandering over towards you, not with any sense of urgency. And he says, hey there, farmer.
Yes. I'm sorry, is something wrong?
This area is off limits. Turn yourself around.
Oh, my apologies. I this usually come through here to gather supplies for the for my for my fire. It's easier to collect these branches, rather than cutting down new trees. And honestly, it's much of a hassle. Uh, Perhaps you wish to join me for food tonight.
He says, no, no food, but I'll buy your firewood from you.
Oh, yes. About how much do you need?
He says, I'll take all of it.
All of it. Oh, may
He
I
takes
keep?
out a string of coins and sort of jingles it at you.
I very rapidly begin to take everything off the horse, and
He
can I?
says, no, not yet. Follow
Oh,
me.
oh, very well.
He guides you into the encampment and has you unload near the fire pit,
I'm.
allowing you to get a good look around.
I definitely glance around. I'm counting troops that I see, or even individuals, getting an idea of what it is they're building.
It looks like some sort of structure, not a fort, but something that could be. You think it's perhaps a bridge, but a movable one that they'll be able to push out onto the river uh, rapidly.
I just I this nod and I'm offloading everything. I do ask if I can keep a very small bundle so I can still heat my food this evening.
Yeah, they allow you to keep a small bundle of sticks. But then the guy escorts you out of the camp and sends you on your way.
I rapidly make my way back. I never actually ride my horse. I'm always pulling it along behind me.
Okay,
But
but you're heading back to the inn at this point?
I think so, unless Haruna had told me that they were going to be at that barn.
Yeah, I told you where we were going to be taking cover, and we would act to come as a reinforcement if you needed us. Because if we need to, we will come back and destroy this place once you report.
I'll make my way, and as I'm crossing the field to the farm, I'll actually start singing a very happy tune. Obviously, I have more money than I've ever had before.
Okay. You sing a happy tune as you approach the place. You recognize that this is an inhabited farmstead. There's just enough signs of somebody here, like some freshly cut firewood and stuff like that.
I yell out,
And
"Come, come! I have money and I have food, or I have wood for the fire tonight for us to cook." Yelling out,
the barn door opens, and you see Haruna step out, and she just waves you and your horse inside.
and I draw the horse in behind me.
And you see it, seated against a hay bale towards the back is a farmer that you do not recognize.
I will whistle out into the beyond for my troops. Basically, stay alert.
Okay.
But I will approach Haruna and.
You seem to not have trouble. What did you discover?
Well, they are constructing a bridge. Something that they'll be able to move across the river and be able to cross here. It's not a fort.
Well, it seems like this would be a good time to set their plans ablaze.
Perhaps. I'll leave that strategy to a larger discussion. Unless did we have permission from Umehime to go ahead and act?
We can act. How many troops did you see opposing us?
There were half a dozen fighting people down there.
Half a dozen fighters, but
That's not much at all.
Then we should simply wait till nightfall, strike where they are unaware, set their plans aflame, and then we can return to the inn before morning.
Sounds fine to me.
Then we have a problem resolved. This is our unintended guest.
My utmost apologies. And I just hand over the string of coins.
Oh, over to the farmer?
Yeah. I
He's
just
now
hand
rich.
that to him. I'm just like, I didn't need that.
Right. Yeah, his eyes get big when he takes that. That'll probably keep this farm a going concern.
Then I'll set
Okay.
about actually making some food for everybody.
Yeah, and like Haruna will take you aside while you're basically talk to you while you're cooking and get like work with one of her staff, and we'll like get a layout of where everything is that you remember. Just have you walk through the layout of the camp and everything.
Right. Yeah, you can draw it in the dirt or whatever.
Dirt. We do calligraphy in this house. Yeah, sorry, in this barn.
Yeah, you have paper. All right. Meanwhile, back at the inn, Umehime and Eriko, you are both down in the main room of the inn, where you are being served dinner, Umehime. And both of you notice that there is a traveler. He's not particularly wealthy looking. And, there's other pilgrims and travelers in this inn. There's a bit of a crowd, honestly. But this one gentleman has been paying particularly close attention to Umehime.
Okay.
All right.
I've probably been informed of such by my spy network.
Right.
Like somebody, I didn't notice it first, but somebody told me because
Yeah,
I have people for that.
exactly.
So I'm trying to get a read on this guy, this person, fellow traveler. What's the traveler dressed like?
Oh, he's
Presenting?
dressed as a pilgrim, but you can tell from his hairstyle that he is of the noble class.
No obvious insignias, I guess, or anything
Nope.
like that.
Nope.
All right.
I have a weird question.
Yeah.
Can I use commune with the spirits to maybe see if I get a sense of any spirits attached to him and where they might hail from?
Yes, you can. That might be an interesting way to find out where he's from.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for a second, you just see Eriko poke at the hearth, and she mutters something under her breath, and gets nothing because that's a double one.
Oh
Even
no.
with my plus one to avoid, that's a 3. So never mind.
Yes. One of the things that does happen to you when you fail a commune with the spirits roll, though, is you're going to attract the attention of some unwanted spirits. So.
Which is perfectly fine because that still gives some answers.
Yeah.
Just not the ones that I want at the moment.
Right. So, yeah, as you're poking with at the fire, you lean over to push one of the logs deeper into the flames. The fire suddenly flares, and your hand is burned. But you know that was not natural.
Look,
so
I'm sorry, I don't have any eggshells for you at the moment. Too late in the day.
you will take. You need to fill in 1 pip on your self track.
All right.
And the way you can heal or reduce your attachments, I should say, is by withdrawing from the world. Is one of the moves that is in the basic moves, and that will allow you to possibly get rid of that damage to your self attachment.
Nice. All right, but not for right now.
No, but clearly something was disturbed by your activity. I don't know if you want to share that with Umehime or if you have another plan.
For right now, I'm just going to sit back and observe, because that's
Okay.
still an answer.
Right.
Sort.
Of a sort, yes.
Like, something
There
does
was
not
definitely
like me poking.
some hostility there, yes.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
that definitely, like, okay, yeah, that person's going to be being paid attention to. And I might, like, hand sign a couple of the nuns that are usually with me to keep an eye on him, too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Umehime, your spy mentions. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna like do the. I was gonna like. My plan was to invite this traveler to share a table together here, and like, if they want to deny hospitality, then that's their business, I guess. But at least, sort of with the mode of like, this is sort of a neutral ground. Like, we can, like, I'm also secretly a noble person. Let's talk
Right.
together. Like.
You
But, like-
invite him over, yeah, because he's someone of your class. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I think what I want to do is I've made a move yet, so like I'm kind of proposing that like I take out, I ask, my retainers or whatever, my right hand lady in waiting here, I need a piece of paper, and I'm going to put out the family, write out the name, right, of like the family, right, like I'm the retainer of, I'm Takeda, loyal to them, and here it is on a piece of paper, and you should come talk to me, whoever you are. This is who I am. I'm going to put out my name and my loyalties.
Okay.
To this person, and I'm going to try to roll with throw my name, a big name. I got a big name. I'm going to write it real big on a piece of paper.
Okay. And what does big name do?
If I get a hit, they know who I am, and like, the +10, they both heard of me, and I get to decide what they know about me on a, just a hit. You each choose one of those things.
Okay.
And then if I miss, then I come off as a pompous idiot if I miss.
Right.
All right. What is that? That is 7, 8, 9. So,
you may take a +1 on this roll.
Then that is a 10. I got 7 on the dice, 2 earth, and then if you're giving me another one, then that is a 10. So
yes, in reference to the vision, basically, is that +1. So.
Oh, right. I have to investigate the possibility of like there's 2 fighters and a cat. But who are all of we in this thing? So either they're impressed, intimidated, or starstruck, and I think the impressed is kind of what I want. Like, I don't want to go too aggressive yet. So
Okay.
I'm like, hey, this is who I am. Here's my name. Come sit at my table. Let's pretend like we're not pretending for a little while. And then, yeah, and I don't know what they, yeah, both. So I think they know if maybe they know like the reputation, right? Of my reputation as a, they knew who I am as far as like, oh yeah, the wife of this guy who was killed in the conflicts between the clans, and you know, she's not someone to ignore, basically.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. The message goes over. You see the gentleman take it, read it, looks over at you. You can tell that they're impressed by the name, and he stands and walks over to join you for dinner.
Excellent. And I'll do some, like, not like I'm serving him, like we're both being like served by the inn, but like I'll make, you know, I'm like kind of gonna half pretend to play hostess, you know, where let's like, you know, the meal is being set down and I'm like arranging it so that it's in a more pleasing arrangement of the way the dishes are coming through and the arranged at the table. Like I'm like, you know, because I've invited him into my, even though it's an inn and just a table at an inn, like I'm making it my own space, right?
Very good. So he introduces himself as Date Morikune.
Do I know who that is?
You do not. This is an unknown name to you.
Okay.
The Date clan is far, far to the north. You know their reputation as being very flashy people, but this gentleman is not dressed in a particularly flashy fashion.
Right. Yeah, so I will ask him, like, just, like, you know, I will tell him that I travel around this whole area very frequently, and I've never seen, you know, someone from your clan down here. It's rare to meet someone from so far north, you know. Again, pure pleasantries.
Right. He explains that, I am merely on my way to see Mount Fuji. I decided to take the pilgrimage from the Date lands down to the south. Your trained ear, I would say, recognizes that his accent is far too local to this area to be from the Date clan.
So then I'll ask him then, since it's more my home turf, I'll ask him some like lesser shrines, if he's also visiting those on the way, like, oh, will you also see this in this place, to try and kind of pick up, you know, if he slips up again, basically. I'm inviting him to slip up again and reveal that he knows too much about this area.
That sounds like implementing a stratagem.
Sure.
Let's see how that turns out for you.
Which ring do I roll for?
You roll plus void for that.
Ooh, plus void. I have no void. I have minus void. I don't truck with spirits.
Right.
So I got a 5 with the -1 for void.
Okay, so that's definitely a miss.
Yes, that's a miss.
He gives back the answers that you would expect someone from his region to give, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's very cool and collected. You don't fluster him. He says he's unfamiliar with these shrines. Can you tell him more about them? And that is basically what he does.
Right. So,
however, you also know that he is reading you and your body language at the moment,
right,
and gets the impression that you're suspicious of him.
Right. Right. We're yes. We're talking around each other, and neither one of us is learning what we want to know.
Right.
I mean, I'll cede the scene back to Corey just so we don't do too much
No, you're
one
fine.
person all at once. But like, I could try to think of something else a different tack to take with this person.
Etika is simply watching and observing.
Okay.
Like, she might, at the mention of the shrines and his questioning of them, might wander over to offer to take him around at a later point. They're wonderful shrines. Love to
He says, "Oh yes, I would be very eager to have an accompaniment of a holy woman such as yourself to visit these shrines."
Of course. Be interesting to see what someone of your nature has to say about them.
Yeah, he says, "My nature."
You seem to be more than just a mere traveler. She'll politely bow.
Right. Yeah. He says, "Yes, I see that you both can perceive that I am not merely just a traveler in these lands. There are many interests to the south that my clan has sent me to investigate."
Perhaps I could be of assistance in answering some of those questions too. And if it gets to a point, I can use my special move, often disparaging.
Oh yeah, do you want to use that? What does that do?
When I
sounds
debate
great.
someone, roll single combat, PCs roll with wind, not water, replacing press the attack with persuade them, which reduces target relevant attachment by 1. And it goes on to like more PC stuff, but it's in this case I'd be tweaking it a little bit to more kind of maybe knock him off balance a little bit more.
Yeah, what would you be trying to persuade him of? Persuade him to
Tell.
perhaps, reveal more of his mission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even unintentionally.
Okay. I think that's an appropriate use of that move.
Let's see.
With your aggressive conversational style.
And I mean, as long as I'm not rolling Earth, it's fun.
Yeah.
So let's see if I get more than double ones this time.
Okay.
6, 7, if that's before the +1 from the vision. 8, if that does include the +1, which is the same hit.
It's the same result. Yeah. So I think this would include the +1 from the vision, but it doesn't really matter that much in this case.
Yeah,
So
7 is still a hit.
yes.
The more particular thing would be the break their structure sub move within single combat.
Right. So what you do in single combat is you pick out your moves, your results that you want to do, and then I will pick mine out, and then we reveal them simultaneously.
Yeah. So.
So let me just pick my choices. Oh, I went the wrong way in my document. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay.
And yeah, that 7 breaking his structure if I can.
Yeah, because you get 2 choices.
Oh, I get 2 choices.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then the other one would be persuade them, right?
yeah, that would be a replacing press the attack. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He chose to keep your guard up against press the attack or persuade them, right? Which means that does not work. And his second one was to disengage. But you do break his structure, so he loses his balance in in the course of the conversation. He loses his uh, uh, composure to a certain extent. He does not reveal his mission, but he does reveal that mostly through omission rather than through any other method, that he is here basically as a spy. But then he does excuse himself from the dinner at the end and retreat to safety.
All right.
But both of you are certain that he's a spy and probably from the Uesugi clan.
Yep. Once he's gone and dinner is over, Eriko is definitely gonna cleanse that particular area, and then address the fire, going, "Hey." Nice.
Be nice, yeah. Okay, yeah, to avoid having another spirit attack.
Yes.
All right.
Just on the off chance.
Did you want to try to withdraw from the world this evening after everything is taken care of?
For the moment, no.
Okay.
I tend to like any physical wounds, obviously, but after that, it's like, I've probably burned myself worse cooking.
Right. Yeah, it'll take some time to heal. So yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else either of you want to do in this scene?
I think just my only thought to add to it was like we kind of like take a moment to be like, he's a spy, right? Like,
yeah.
We both picked up on the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You probably signaled to your spy as the same thing I signaled to like some of the monks that follow me, and it's like,
however it's communicated, we like look at each other across the room as he leaves to go away, right? We're like, yeah, we both know he's. We don't know his whole story.
Give each other the nod.
Right.
Right. All right. A perfect point for us to take our break.
All right.
All right. And we will be back in 10 minutes then. Thank you, everyone. And we are back. Hello, everyone. We're back with Seriously Let's Play, and we have Brendan Taylor here taking us into the game 1,000 Arrows. It's your show again, Brendan.
All right. So let's real quick figure out how these monks and spies do dealing with this encampment. So Mochisue and Haruna.
Well, I think we had talked about waiting until that night to...
Right. So that night rolls around. What is your plan?
I think that for the night, once night comes, if it's not raining, if it's clear skies, I think we're going to be sneaking into camp. And focusing on destroying the structure, but also scaring everyone out of there or fighting those who try to, fight back.
Okay.
My plan is to use one of my moves, Order the Troops.
Yep.
So I will be commanding my section to destroy the apparatus, and I will be fighting with them.
Okay. That would be the same move that you would use, Mochisue. So, how are you approaching this? Are you going to lead the troops, or are you going to order from behind?
I think I'm going to lead the troops myself.
Okay. That makes sense. That comports with your chivalry as well. Your drive.
Yep.
All right. So both of you leading the troops, rushing in. I can get an order of the troops from both of you.
All right. Rolling my water, which is a +1.
Nat's 12. So
Wow.
that's 14.
I rolled a 6 on one, a 3 on the other, plus my 1 puts me at 10.
Nice. Okay. So when you order the troops and you get a 10 or above, that means that I don't get to put any compromise on your success. They follow your orders to the best of their ability. And their abilities are pretty good in this situation, in that the spies can... what exactly are you ordering your spies to do?
For myself, I'll be, we sneak into camp, quietly on foot, not coming in on a horse. Taking axes to the structure. Hopefully just the sound and the chaos will, just scare everyone in the camp away. If not, the figure of Mochisue with a sword walking towards it in the darkness, and I think in this case I'll probably be using my ninja sword, out to my side for maximum kind of intimidation.
So you're basically trying to scare off anyone who tries to oppose you.
Yes, I want a message
Okay.
sent that
Alright.
that we are aware.
Right. And Haruna?
We are going to go in and basically try and drive them off. We're quiet until we basically get to their lines, and then we make a lot of racket attempting to drive them out. And we will engage if they resist, and basically work to destroy the apparatus. And anyone who stands and fights us will fall.
Yeah, there is some resistance at first as you approach. Your spies have snuck into the apparatus and are beginning to dismantle it. When Haruna's nuns approach, what weapons do they wield? Glaives?
Where did they go? 1 second. Yeah, they all have glaives and armor.
Yeah, so that is the naginata weapon that Umehime also wields. You approach swinging those heavy blades at the end of a staff, and you are in the lead with your staff, knocking people down. The guards basically... They come towards you as you approach. A couple of swipes with the blades dissuades them from continuing to fight, and they all rush away along with the workers, allowing you, in your leisure, to dismantle what they were working on, and probably destroy it as well.
I think we'll also set it alight before we leave.
Yeah, you can make sure it's in a good blaze before you head out.
Yep.
All right, so you will be able to return to the inn triumphant.
Yes. Double back the way we came, then meet up with the road and take the river crossing.
Yeah.
All right. If possible, for our troops, I would probably see if we can all, mount to some extent combined if necessary, just so we can disappear as quickly as we appeared. I think that that would also serve a good effect if anybody comes looking for us.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you have horses, so. But yeah, you move off the way you came through the woods rather than through any path. And make good your escape.
Excellent. We'll head back towards the inn.
Okay. At the inn, I will allow you all to sort of briefly confer over what has happened. So please be, please, go ahead and make plans or discuss however you wish.
I know for my part that like there's definitely there's definitely a loose end to this operation still in the inn that I would like to tie off. And I was imagining almost like going and taking care of this myself, like get some of my guys with me to like go, like there's not that many rooms in this inn. I imagine I'm just gonna go over there. Like I had to talk to this guy. I tried to be pleasant at dinner. He didn't tell me what I wanted to know, so now I'm gonna bust into his room in the middle of the night and I'm gonna interrogate him.
Okay.
Or at least make a show of that kind of force. I mean, that's kind of what I imagine happening. But I timing wise or whatever, if they're like getting back right this time, we can all go together or.
No, I'm happy to have you do that. They got to have a conflict, and you can have one as well. Did you want to bring Eriko along, or are you doing this just on your own?
I think I almost feel like, because she's at the inn, like this is her situation, like I shouldn't tell her what I'm about to do, because then that makes her she can maintain the plausible deniability for her own status in her own operation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is I failed to get what I needed out of this guy, and so my reputation is on the line. So I need to go clean up my own mess, so to speak.
Okay. Well, I'm going to set the scene for this. Your spies, one of your spies comes to you and lets you know that the gentleman in question is in the process of leaving, and you can catch him in the stables where he is saddling his horse.
Excellent. Even better. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like, I'm not a very martial sort of character, but this is like, like I said, I asked nicely and now I'm not. So like I imagine like 2 guys to hold the door, a couple guys to hold him. We're just gonna walk right in and grab him, and then I'll come follow up with like, all right, now we're going to really talk about what you're doing here, because I know you're a spy. I know you're not from the Date lands, so help me understand why I shouldn't murder you for putting your fingers in my pie.
Okay.
Like a real strong face. Like this is like I'm playing my own good cop, bad cop here. Like you didn't talk to me at dinner when I was good cop. Now we're talking. Now I'm talking to you in the stables, and the bad cop is here.
Did we freeze up there a moment?
Brennan is frozen, I believe.
All right. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to take a brief moment while we see about our internet connection for the second. We'll be stepping away, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Sorry about that brief delay there a moment. Just internet's being kind of questionable ever so often. So, show's back to you, Brennan.
All right. So basically, what is going to happen here? You were interrogating the spy, and we're trying to get the truth out of him.
Right.
I'm going to basically have you make a roll based on your one of your rings. So we need, because there isn't a particular move that helps with the interrogation in this case. What I would like to
I was kind
know
of looking
is
through them.
Yeah. What it is you're actually, what method are you using for this? Are you trying to trick? Are you trying to use your wits?
No. I have like we walked into the stable. We just caught him. There's two guys that are holding the door to the stable closed, so we won't be disrupted. There's two more guys that are like
holding him,
pushing this guy up against the wall.
So purely physical, right?
Yeah, it is now time for physical threats. Like,
yeah.
I got 4 armed guys in this stable with me, and they are holding him. And now I'm asking again, like, no, tell me for real what you're really doing here.
Right.
Like, I'm not touching him. I'm standing back, but I've got people to do that.
Right. Absolutely. Right. So, what I think this would be is you trusting in your followers to help you.
Yeah.
So that would be a fire roll.
Yeah. I was afraid of that.
Oh, were you?
But I think you're right. It's one of the
I'm
ones
going
I
to go ahead and
my-
give you a +1 on this roll because of the vision. So.
Okay. Oh, I got 4 on the dice. So yeah, this is a bad. It's 4. 4 is my roll. So. Fair.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
He's made of stern stuff. This guy.
Your followers grab him. They throw him against the wall. You come up about to demand something from him when one of your followers shrieks out in pain as he's stabbed in the leg, and the other one is thrown to the ground. And this guy goes up into the rafters and escapes through the roof, the thatched roof.
All right. Well, he knows way too much now.
You rush outside, and there's no sign of him anywhere.
Yeah, he's not ideal. Not ideal. Hey, I have his horse though.
You do.
Can I toss his horse and maybe find some stuff there?
Yeah, absolutely. You go through his saddlebags.
His saddlebags, not his actual horse. And it turns out I have 7 in water. I'm just going to throw the whole horse over.
In a secret compartment, you find a pass, essentially, that would give him the ability to travel through lands without being stopped by the authorities. But it is marked with the Uesugi clan sigil.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Oh, I mean, that confirms everything. So then I think maybe all that is happening at about the time
that they arrive back. Yeah.
But we can all do our little conference.
Yeah.
Now. Maybe I'm looking at this piece of paper as I leave the
stables.
I think I'm going to stay. Yeah, leave the stables. We got, the guy that got knocked, the guy that got stabbed is going to have some attendance from the other people. But then the 2 people I think I'll have 2 people still with me as I kind of go out of the stable into the yard, and I'm looking at these papers as Haruna and Machi Use come back.
Yep.
Sue.
Machi Sue, yeah.
Machi Sue.
All right.
And I don't know, maybe a yell in the night has brought Eriko out as well.
Yeah.
It probably has, if like.
There was a bit of a
considering-
scuffle in the stable, yes. So,
And knowing her, she probably sleeps pretty close to this table.
right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So the four of you meet outside the stable.
I think I'm probably a little flustered, and I'm kind of like gonna be slapping the paper. Like, look at this. He was from Isue clan. I'll show
Yeah.
Osuge. I'll show Ariko. Like, he got away, but this proves that he was worth working with them.
And do you two want to report what happened with your situation? I assume you're going to communicate that.
Yeah, we come up with our troops and everything. Haruna is actually leading her horse, that has the supplies like of most of her little group of warriors, and walking with them. And she kind of just dismisses them. One takes the horse off to take care of it, and she kind of walks up and it's like, "We were very successful. How did it go here? Did the fan anger you for some reason, Ume?" Well, you're slapping paper into your hand.
Yeah.
In the dark, Haruna thinks it's like a fan.
Sure. I will hand the paper over to you, and you can examine it yourself with sort of like a huff, a bit of a huff, more of a huff than you've ever seen her huff.
Oh, right. I don't understand what the concern is.
We had another disguised visitor earlier for dinner. He claimed to have been from the Date clan, but it turns out he's Uesuge.
Wonderful.
And a bit of a local then, on the other end.
I went to talk to him further to learn his proper business, and he has escaped. It's around here somewhere, but he won't get. We could pursue him because his horse is still in the barn, but yeah, this is his pass. So,
Do you know which direction he took when he left?
I cannot bring myself to vocalize that I do not, but I will shake my head no.
More than likely
Then
back
we
towards
can't-
their lines. Probably,
Probably, but
possibly
we can't
going
track
back
him.
towards that, the place where we intercepted that bridge.
he will have a very warm welcome there then, won't he?
If I may suggest something.
Does it have to do with not standing in the middle of the night?
That too, but
Two
Yes.
excellent ideas.
could you have one of your men show me the horse? I might be able to get some information from that one.
Yeah.
Eriko might just be slightly a little awkward.
Okay.
Not awkward,
No.
eccentric.
Eccentric.
I will, yeah, of course. And then, like, I'll go back to the stable, and I assume the horse hasn't wandered too far. But if it's still there, I'll show Eriko.
Oh yeah,
the
still
horse.
there.
Eriko's gonna kind of go up to the horse, produce like a little plum from a pocket somewhere, and kind of be gentle with it, and she's going to commune with spirits, particularly this spirit,
Okay.
to maybe talk to the horse.
Okay.
It's a 8 plus void is 9. This would be a 10 if we're considering the ongoing +1. 9 if not.
I think we can consider the ongoing +1 with this.
Right, that would be a 10 plus, so I get to choose 2 from Commune with Gods and Spirits. The spirits guide my next move, and it'll be obvious when they do it. Take +1 forward to act as they command. And the other one is I gain insight into the situation. The GM reveals an important secret.
Okay. The two things that you... So the horse doesn't exactly speak to you, right? It's not like
No.
verbal. It's visions that you get from the spirits here.
Visions and impressions.
Yeah, and the spirit of the horse gives you the impression that it has been in the company of many other horses recently, which would indicate that there may be a massed group of cavalry somewhere nearby. The thing that I'm going to give you a +1 forward to act on is that you realize that conflict is looming. I mean, that's obvious, but that it could possibly be diffused, and the spirits believe that Umehime is the key to that.
All right. Well, that's certainly news. Did Umehime follow Erikoin, or did she send one of her people?
I think I did think about that. Before you asked, I think I came into the barn with you to kind of not necessarily like watch what you're doing, like just kind of see what your methods can produce, and also to kind of get out of the night air and take a little bit of moment to recompose myself a little bit, because I got a little angry at having one of my men stabbed in front of me. So yeah, I'm there in the barn or the stable.
Yeah. Eriko raises her head from being forehead to forehead with this horse. And if the horse does not object, she might just kind of like, I could use a good mount.
Okay.
That kind of playful thing. But she will look to Umehime. How good are you at diplomacy? I know you attempted to take our esteemed guest captive, but please tell me your diplomacy is better than your interrogation skills.
It is. It all. It has served me well enough so far. I usually talk. I usually prefer to talk.
That's good, because there's a cavalry. There are more horses where this one came from. We should probably get Aki-san and Haruna and go from there. Prepare for talks in the morning.
Right.
So. And yes, Eriko does pass another plum to the horse. She's standing there.
Nice.
She's got a soft heart. So.
Okay, cool. So, you can bring Mochisue and Haruna into the loop and decide what to do next.
I guess the next trick would be to find where these people are.
Would that have been something I kind of saw in my impressions?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, you've got a sense that they're northward on the road.
Yeah.
Or near the road northward.
Yeah. Would it be enough to describe... Would there be enough in whatever I saw to describe it to see if it matches up with the description of where Haruna and Mochisue were just acting?
Actually, no, it's in a different spot.
It is a different spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, I pass on all of my information in that regard, and I sit back and let my betters plan.
Do we wish to go at night or do we wish to go tomorrow?
I don't. You said that the bridge that they were building was not yet finished. They were still constructing it, right?
Yes.
Can you guess, like, knowing how much more work there was to be done, can give us an estimate on when this force is expected to need it, and cross the river using it? But, you know,
It was about 90% done, actually.
okay.
Very close to done, and they would have been probably nearby. The question is, do we go
Alright.
in at... I would say the question is, do we go into conquer or do we go into, you know, find some sort of middle ground?
For the rest of the people here at this monastery, I would suggest a middle ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I like. Is the Brennan, is the river the border between the two lands?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So the monastery sits in Takeda lands, but it is independent. It is a independent
Yeah.
Buddhist monastery.
Right, but it is like the river is the border, so like them
Yeah.
crossing the river would be aggressive.
Would be
right?
aggressive, yes.
I'm not like I'm just looking at my character sheet. It's like I don't know what the best option is. But I think I agree with you, Enrico, that that like it is like we may have some warrior nuns and some sneaky spies on our side here, but we do not have a cavalry of our own. Like you don't hold off cavalry with you know, archers from the bushes. You know, like this is it is not an ideal time to fight. I don't know. I'm almost like if they were planning to cross the bridge secretly and they can't do that now, they're probably going to come to the other bridge or not cross the river. So we should go to the bridge is kind of what, like, whatever happens next, I think it'll happen at the bridge.
Yeah. We'll very certainly have it on this road if they were attempting to bypass that bridge. This is the only crossing for miles.
Right.
Very well.
That's
I'll take the time then. Mochizue will actually get his armor and start gearing up to look like a soldier, to look like an honor guard.
yeah. I think if that bridge was almost complete, then it is like, yeah. I don't know. I think
If it's,
we got to go.
If we're at the end of Skullduggery, I am definitely gearing up for, whatever's coming next.
Right. I think
Haruna motions to one of the soldiers that had stayed, one of the other warriors that had stayed with her, and just has a bit of a conversation with it, and just and bring the longer range weapons with you as well. And the person runs off. If we're going into battle or not, seems to be still at some descent. Umehime, what do you think the odds are that you can talk them out of this folly?
Yeah. I don't know. It's negotiations are always a delicate balance. Like I've got some stuff. I feel like I could, under ideal conditions, convince some people to at least pause or reconsider. But you know, I'm not necessarily get an army to turn against their leaders. That's a considerably harder task. Yeah.
Then it sounds more like we should prepare for war.
And
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think did we lose Brennan again?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm just listening.
He's in rapt. It's rapt attention.
It was rapt attention. Yes.
No. Like, if such negotiations as I can make fail, then war will be the only option. So, preparing yourselves for a battle will aid in the negotiations. Right, becomes a part of the discussion. Yeah, I think yeah, you're talking about putting on your armor. Like, I think that's the material that I chose as well, is the battle regalia. So, like, I think it's time to put on our armor and go see, show a bit of a show of force and see what see if
With
they
the
really want to
force
fight.
of warrior nuns at your back. So
That's right, and some, yeah.
because I believe that's your section as well, right, Eriko?
Yes, I have warrior monks at my disposal
Same.
with glaives.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, your spies can be sent afield to sort of see what's going on as you approach. Are you going to go out in the morning for this?
I mean, it has to be. We can't delay too long. Like,
Yeah, I'd say we go in the morning and like a full advance down the road with banners flying and everything.
If need be, I will send some of my section to kind of watch the road, because if they come to the monastery, Eriko's going to want to evacuate everybody, all the civilians.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so yes, nothing happens during the night, so you're able to advance first thing in the morning at first light. You ride forth. A big crowd of Buddhist warriors at your back. So you cross the bridge, and you see approaching down the. Are you going to cross the bridge? No.
well,
No.
yeah, I think not. I think you don't. Even if you expect them to come across in battle,
You just
like,
wait there.
If that's the line, that's the line. So, like, I'm
Right.
thinking I'm thinking like maybe in the middle of the bridge, like how it. Yeah.
Use the
Okay.
bridge to funnel
Or-
their forces to us if they do end up invading.
Yeah, if they attack, the bridge is the best defensible point. So yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Or maybe, we wait at the south end of the bridge, and then, if there's sort of a moment of parley that happens on the bridge, rather than like having a bunch of people on the bridge. I don't know. How substantial is this bridge? How wide?
It's a stone bridge.
Okay, stone bridge.
Yeah, it's a stone bridge. It's fairly wide, but 200 warrior monks can certainly defend it very handily if you're fighting on the bridge.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a thin
Using-
line. Yeah.
Yeah, I think having destroyed the secret way, I think this bridge is, it's the place to be on our side.
Okay. So as you wait, you start to see through the mists coming off the river the approach of an army on the other side. The vanguard approaches the bridge, sees you on the opposite side, and stops. And soon their general approaches and rides to the center, bearing something indicating that he wishes to parley.
Yeah, well, I'm on my horse, so yeah, I think it's time to go meet him. And I'm sure there are, you know, the nuns are armed with bows, but I think my spies will be ready to, if nothing else, uh, he won't get back off this bridge if he does anything to me. I think
Right.
is the orders I've given.
Does the general have like a couple retainers with him, like somebody carrying a flag and such
Yes,
like that?
yes. And
Okay.
it is the flag indicates it's the Uesugi clan, and also the personal sigil of the leader, the lord of the Uesugi clan, Uesugi Kenshin.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna ride out there with Ume.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah. You all know that Uesugi Kenshin is in fact a monk himself, who has decided to take over the mantle of leading the clan. As you approach, he pulls back his white hood. Kind of leans forward on the horse and says, "I wasn't expecting to run into troops for a few hours yet."
I want to allude to the fact that his bridge got burned and tell him that unexpected things happen all the time.
Right.
And
He says, "Yes, indeed they do." You see among his retainers the spy that eluded you.
yeah. Gosh, do I want to try? I mean, this is like my only. I mean, I don't know. Like yeah, I'm always.
Did he find
hesitant
another
to-
horse? That's my
He's on a different horse now. Yes.
Yeah.
So no.
Are you on his horse?
No, I'm on it.
yes.
I'm definitely on his horse.
Nice.
I made friends.
I'm looking at my options here. Like, what's the most impactful thing?
Well, one of the things you can do is try to determine whether his reputation is what is his drive. You can think you can try and find out what his drive is with
that
a
might be
reconnoiter roll.
Okay. Stacking the different abilities, chaining the abilities. That's good. What do I roll for that? Let's see.
Reconnoiter
Wind
is wind.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of engage him in like, I don't know, like, kind of my go-to, like diplomatic pleasantries. Like, we talked about the, unexpected things can happen in the forest, and then, I'll say something about the how the monks were the nuns at the monastery were very concerned about the what is happening in these lands, and that's why we're here to like find out what's going on. And I'm gonna make that roll to kind of draw out his motivations.
Okay.
Man, all right, so I got an 8, and that's with wind, so that's a 9. So that's
all right.
A definite hit.
Yes. So they give you 2 questions, but that you can ask off of the reconnoiter list.
Yeah.
Based on what you can observe here and what you can observe from Kenshin's words to you as you're discussing things.
Right.
You always can ask for free what if their drive is the same as yours.
And right. And you said this is you said something about a monk, another monk himself. Like, is that this guy I'm dealing with? Is that guy or?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at the list here. I definitely want to ask about a path to the goal.
Right.
And then I don't know. Like, if that is, I do kind of want to know. I want to draw him, like I said, on like what his purpose is. If he's, like if he's trying to, yeah, obviously, like he came here to fight, but like I don't want him to fight. Like I don't want this fight to happen this way. And so like my goal is to get him to go away, at least for a little while, because then some other troops can arrive, and that's war. But
yeah, what can you do to get him to back off, basically, right?
Basically, yeah. Like, and if it is like, so I want to ask about the weakness, but like I don't know what his weakness is. That's tied into what his drive is, I guess. So, how can I? Basically, what I'm thinking of, I know you haven't answered yet, but what I'm thinking of is like, he came here expecting to do one thing, and like our efforts have prevented him from doing that. So now he's got to like save face against his own troops a bit because he can't do what he planned to do. So like, what is that thing that I can get him to be like, look, you don't want to try and cross this bridge. You don't want to try and kill a bunch of nuns to cross this bridge. Like, you have this fight some other day. Like today is not that day. Like, you're at a disadvantaged position, and if you admit it, nobody will die today.
Yeah. So what exactly are your two questions?
Yeah. So that's what I just explained is sort of like, what is the weakness that I can exploit? Like, and then I guess the other one is like the path to my goal. Like, I mean, they're obviously related. Like, I'm not trying to win in battle, I guess. I'm trying to prevent the battle from starting, I guess. Like,
so the weakness is that he is indeed a devout monk, and he does not want to start an invasion by murdering a whole bunch of nuns, just like you mentioned. The second question, what is the path to your goal, is definitely have Eriko and Haruna take the lead in convincing him otherwise.
Excellent.
Because they share his drive, and you can appeal to his drive in your words in an attempt to get him to change his mind.
Yeah. Good. Then so after we have these pleasantries talking about the weather, then I'll really lay it down like I just explained. Like, you don't want to start a war this way. Like, war is a thing that comes and goes. Like, that's fine, but like, you don't want to do it this way. You should listen to the other. You should listen to the voices of the people who you would walk over to get what you want. And then I'll indicate that Haruna here is, I'll indicate her because she rode up with me. Like, this is the this is the representative from the nunnery would speak to you as well.
Okay.
In a very like voice that does not carry, Haruna just without taking her eyes forward goes, "If this is another marriage attempt, you are mistaken, Umehime." And then she straightens up in her saddle, and she looks over at the Kenshin, and she is unarmed visibly. She has no weapons on her at all, and she pulls her hood back and looks at him. It's like, blood need not be spilled here. Our monastery is on the road between two great warrior machines. This is a place of peace and reflection, a place where you can study yourself and humanity, turn inward. And yet we are here defending ourselves because you have approached under arms with a hunger for the world, for material power. What else are we to do other than stand in your way?
He nods and he says, it is the burden of my ancestors that I bear today, that they had been slain by the Takeda clan. It is that reason that I am here, not through ambition or the desire for more land, but to avenge them. And as you know, we serve the same goal, and I have no wish to see any bloodshed. Your monastery will be spared. It will not be touched.
And what are the
What does
peasants in the field? Eric, go
Thank
ahead.
you,
Sorry.
Corey. No, you said exactly what I was about to, about a half second faster.
Yeah, Erico has written up at this point.
Yeah. He says, war is always unfortunate.
I have made sure that this monastery serves the peasants and what they need. The people that manage the land around us manage it effectively and with compassion. I don't want to see that hurt. I don't want to see the people I've grown to know and care about hurt. What does your revenge serve other than your pride? And she's definitely picking a fight with him, with her.
Oh, so yeah, so you want to do often disparaging?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
So that is a 7, 8. So.
An 8.
8 total. 9 if this is including the vision, but that doesn't make a difference, so.
No,
It
so
just
it's
sounds
an 8.
better.
Yep. All right, so with an 8.
Or, no, it would be a 9 because of that +1 forward, wouldn't it?
It would, in
From-
fact, yes.
From the other thing.
Yeah, and you can't stack +1s forward, so it's still just a
yeah.
9, unfortunately.
I mean, it's still. It's like, well, doesn't make a difference, but it makes me feel better.
Okay. So decide what your choices are.
Alright, well, as soon as my thing.
Pops up.
Yeah. Sorry, it's. For some reason, my clicks are not working as they should. Single pop out?
So you want to know what your choices are? I can read them out to you.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, you got it. All
Maybe.
right.
Something is not cooperating on my mouse, and I don't like it. I'm. Keep my.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, so go
Yeah.
ahead.
Keep my guard up, and press the attack is part of the disparaging move, so that's. Keeping
Yep.
my guard up is the secondary on that one.
And what are you guarding against?
I'm going to guard against the break their structure sub-move.
Okay,
So.
cool. Because that was indeed one of his choices. So, he also showed off his skill and pressed and persuade them. So both of you are persuading each other.
All right.
So, but he shows off his skill. His knowledge of scripture is exceptionally deep, and he is able to come up with quotes and arguments for his position as you debate him. But your words also hit their mark, and you can see him being convinced as well that his pride is definitely involved in this. But he also persuades you that there is a crime that has been committed against his family that must be rectified.
Well, if you insist, then I must bow to your wisdom.
He says there may be some other way than an invasion to handle this.
Haruna looks between the two, having heard both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
And she gives a bow in the saddle to him. It's like, if you would permit, this one will stand for the honor of the Takeda clan and face you in single combat.
What?
What's everybody else doing at this declaration? Anything?
Erika is just going to nod her head.
Okay.
solemnly.
I think Mochisuke is more like his face is my face. There, he is very emotional, and he is very much did not expect that response.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got something happening that I need to take care of real quick.
Okay.
Just a few moments.
Sure. Shall we wait?
It's your call. If you'd like to hold a moment, we can always just go to a timer one last time if you'd like.
How are our frames, John? Because Matthew
Frame?
turned off his camera.
It actually maintained because of how I have it set up. So I know it's a rarity with Discord that it
Pro
actually
move
works
right there.
Me causing all the trouble earlier paid off.
That was a humble brag. Way to go.
Excellent. So I think we can proceed because Matt's character is not likely to volunteer in your place, Haruna. So, so he agrees, and he says, mounted or unmounted?
Unmounted.
He gets down from his horse.
And Haruna gets off her horse, and they stand in the middle of this bridge. And I think that Eriko has a quick flash of, like, there isn't a cat between the two of them, but it looks really similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to the two warriors
vision.
facing one another across the bridge. Yeah,
Yep.
the dirt
And-
on the top of the bridge, where yeah.
And Haruna just stands ready, and she is barehanded.
Ooh, barehanded. Nice. So the duel has begun, Matt. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I had to answer the door behind me.
Yeah. I heard someone knocking. Yes. All right. So that uses the single combat roll.
So I'm fighting someone?
Not
The
you.
honor? Oh, not
Not
me.
you.
Okay.
Haruna is.
All right.
Haruna has decided to take that role. So.
Yeah, it seemed the thing to do. I mean, I need more light here, so I'm gonna change my lighting. There we go. That's better. Okay, so roll with water. Gotcha. Hey, guess what? Water happens to be the best thing I'm good at.
Awesome.
Nice.
I have a 9.
Okay. So
Unless
you
if I get the +1 for following the vision.
You do
it's a 10.
because this is exactly the vision. So yeah, I think
Then
that's
it's a 10.
yeah, nice. So you get 3 choices.
Okay. Okay, let me mark them down.
There we go.
All right, I have my 3 chosen.
Okay, I do too.
Oh, okay. One of them I have to choose. Okay.
All right.
How do we resolve this?
You can go ahead and reveal. Mine are chosen already, so I'll just reveal them
Okay.
after you.
I have keep your guard up against his show off your skill.
Very nice.
And I have show off your skill chosen with break their structure. The idea is Haruna will wait for the first movement of her opponent, waiting for him to go in with a very flashy attack. That's why she's guarding. And when she does, she will counter with a bare-handed attack using her Yagyu Nu Shadow style. And
Yes.
attempt to basically shatter his calm and his resolve.
Very nice. Okay, well, he was keeping his guard up against press the attack, which you did not do, so that was a waste. He was showing off his skill, which he will no longer be able to do. He must not show off because your abilities are strong enough that you are forcing him to be very utilitarian in his approach. But he also chose to break their structure. So both of you are going to break the structure of each other, and you are going to show off your skill.
Yes.
So,
is he barehanded as well, or is he using
no,
a
he
weapon?
came in with the
Either,
sword.
fine. Okay. Then I think Haruna's skill is literally she has been parrying his sword strikes with a flat palm to the blade, just like smacking them aside. And
Yeah.
not getting hit or cut.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is amazing to look at. Yeah, everyone watching is very impressed. So is he impressed, dismayed, or frightened?
I think he is impressed at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going enough to dissuade him.
Well, break your structure is the last thing that you were doing. How are you going to break his structure? You could take the sword away.
Yeah, and if this is too much, I can change it. So with his last attack, he came in, he did a straight thrust towards her face, and she did the move where she clapped her hands together on the blade and twisted, and it came out of his grip and went over the edge of the bridge and into the water.
To the water, nice. I think that's totally fair. As you did that, he swept your leg and you fall down.
That's fair.
But he he could have gone for the short sword and come after you, but he does not. He steps back and he bows to you.
Haruna gets to her feet and returns the bow just as deeply to the millimeter.
Yeah, and he says, "I had no wish to shed your blood, and you have shown great skill." And he looks over the edge of the bridge. It says, "And thrown my father's sword into the river." I will view my vengeance satisfied.
While I am sorry for the loss of your ancestral sword, I would note you carry one, still with honor, and that it will forge its own path, and its descendants will have a tale to tell.
And then he will turn on his heel and head back across, telling his army to turn around.
And Haruna will walk back to her horse and mount up and sit next to Umehime.
Yeah.
So when you asked Eriko and I to step in, was that what you had in mind?
I mean, it worked. Very effective. Very effective. No, I imagined the battle would be more waged on esoteric realms.
Ah, more of a philosophical bent. I
All right.
think there he was a match for Eriko, but I think he has spent a lot of time studying that realm, and he has neglected some of his martial training. That was his undoing.
Mhm.
You must study both to find balance.
Nice.
A lesson for us all.
Does anyone want to do anything for a final bit here? Because I think that's pretty much the climax of the storyline.
Could
I
we
don't know.
please have breakfast now?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if diving to the bottoms of river is included in spy stuff, but I wanted somebody to go down there and fish out that guy's sword. Like it might come in handy later.
Absolutely.
Do you ask somebody that in front of Haruna?
Oh no, no.
Okay, because
My spies to go do it.
she would not be happy if she found that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you
Erica
send one
might
of your
be
spies to do
thinking
it.
about it to, cleanse it of, whatever malevolence is kind of gathered around it.
Hmm.
I think Mochizue just is like, oh, battle's over, hops off the horse, and literally goes fishing.
Yeah, I think unless Eriko decides to dive in right away,
She
uh,
might.
he might. Yeah.
She probably would.
You,
She doesn't
I,
want
I
that
actually,
polluting the river.
well, not to mention, you probably could just ask the spirit of the water where it is and go right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to make a roll for that. So.
Yeah, she gets down to her Juban and goes for a swim. She doesn't want that polluting the water. They still need that water downstream.
All right. So the sword ends up at the monastery, is what happens.
Nice.
Cleansed, however long that takes.
Right.
As a as like a postscript, like an after credit scene. What like a couple weeks later, one of the monks comes by that spot, and that sword is missing. And another week after that, it cuts to the Kenshin receiving an unmarked package in the post.
Nice. Nice. Anybody else want to do an after credit scene, or is that good?
I'm good.
Good for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So that concludes our game of Thousand Arrows.
Awesome.
Very,
Well,
very
Alright.
peaceful.
That was great.
absolutely loved it.
None of us,
No.
nobody died.
No, I don't think anybody died. Actually, people got stabbed, but nobody died.
Stabbing is temporary.
No, this is
one of us got
wonderful.
stabbed and one of us got burnt with a malevolent
Oh
spirit.
yeah, you got
but-
burned.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yes.
It was only my. I didn't get stabbed. It was only it was one of my helpers. One of my spies got
Scratch.
stabbed.
Scratched and crispy.
No, I absolutely loved it. I love how even with the playbooks of that are in Powered by the Apocalypse, this it felt like it had a lot of depth and there a lot of originality to all the characters, and I absolutely just blown away by this.
I
Yeah,
love
the
it.
flavor was good. It's probably I'd put it up there with Master Me for Powered by the Apocalypse game sets.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I agonized over my choices, and because there is like a more martial path that I could have taken the character, and that also would have been more interesting, or not more interesting. It would have been interesting to have that build, but I chose all the I'm just gonna try and talk to you kind of stuff, and then I don't.
That was great.
So, I feel like I could have had a totally different character and done this adventure in a completely different way. without
Oh yeah.
with the same playbook. And so that's to what you were saying, John.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like the flow was great, the story was great, and I could almost see taking this to a con and playing it at a table with people, first time. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
that
So
was
fun.
fun.
I run it at
I,
cons
I
all the time. I'm going to be at PAX Unplugged next week. So
yeah,
Hey,
I was gonna
awesome.
say I can speak for
Hey.
Brendan saying that he plays this at cons all the time. I've seen him do it all day long.
yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you, Brennan.
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you
much
all
for
for
letting me
playing.
play.
It was wonderful.
Absolutely. And
It
it was an
was.
honor having you on the channel, Brennan and Matthew. Great having you back. Of course, my usual castmates. I love having you all. Thank you for both being available and coming out today.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I like having fun with y'all.
Yeah,
So-
it's
Yeah,
great.
thanks for having us.
I think this is the first time that I've been on as a player. I think I've GM'd on the channel before, but I think this is the first time I've been on as a player. So
You didn't get to come back when
that's
I
fun.
GM'd Never Going Home.
Yeah, Brandon and some other people were on, but I didn't do that. So,
That's too bad.
so
Well,
it's a good first game to be a player on the
All
channel.
right.
In.
yeah. All right. Well, everyone, it is Saturday. It is, of course, not evening yet. So there's obviously time for everybody to go out there and have a good time with your family. Weekend of the holidays wrapping up. But just a really quick note, I'll go ahead and toss out there that next week we are back again, and we will be back with Shanty Hunters. So that will be
Excellent.
our show next
Nice.
week. And as always, closing us out, I'll go ahead and say, hey, seriously, let's play.